On today's DNVR Broncos show, we are breaking down everything you need to know about Pat Surtain's injury. There's a lot of things going around. We're going to tell you what we know and give you the latest and break down how much it impacts the Broncos in their next couple of games. How many weeks will he miss? We're diving into all of that starting now. Blow for the Broncos with PS2 missing some time. We've got the latest and everything you need to know about his injury, and we're going to break it down on the DNVR Broncos podcast, live from the Toyota Lounge, driven by your local Front Range Toyota stores, and we are presented by Bet365. Use that code DNVR365 when you sign up. Place a $5 bet. After depositing $10, you can get $200 in bonus bets in your account. Got Ryan Koenigsberg to my left, Henry Chisholm to my right. We got Dion behind the camera. We still got you here, rocking and rolling with us. But Dion is our new producer, so shout out to Dion. Happy to have you rolling with us every single day. You're here, still here, so if you have any comments for him, drop it in the Twitter chat. And I'm Zac Stevens. Fellas, how we doing today?
First of all, shout out to Dion, former buff. Well, forever buff, I should say. Once a buff, always a buff.
And BYU.
Forever buff and a baller on the field, and has worked his ass off here. So stoked for him to get the day-to-day opportunity with us.
Yes. Dion is Louis to us.
There you go.
That's
a deep reference.
Yeah, that is way over my head, I think.
Second of all, before we get to all the bad vibes, bad news, I do have good vibes, good news.
Good.
Breaking news.
Good.
Yesterday, we were talking to Benny. We can't remember if it was on or off the air.
I think it was on the air.
I don't think Benny would care either way.
No, it wasn't on the air, actually.
He said the next step for the Broncos for me is I got to see them partying together. I want to see what their Halloween party is like. Are they having a Halloween party? Well, last night, Broncos had a Halloween party. So they just went up a notch in Benny's eye.
Wow.
I think every team parties together. Don't you think?
No.
I mean, we've seen the good teams, the bad teams, at least in Denver over the past 10 years.
Dion, does every team party together?
Not every team.
No. Every Broncos team holds a Halloween party, I believe. I think.
There's a couple years where I think they were on hiatus from Halloween parties.
That's true. I do. You're right. Vic
not winning years.
Vic shut them down. Yeah. They were not winning years.
Yeah, but I do think that this team has a special bond. It's funny because you harped on it pretty heavily on the postgame show. You didn't know that I had already harped on it pretty heavily, which was Alex wearing the PS2 shirt and Riley wearing the Benito shirt. I compared it to the way like the Thunder, the whole team shows up for the postgame interviews every night. Like it just shows like a different level of camaraderie, a different bond, and I think this team has that. So I don't think them partying together, having fun together, enjoying each other's company off the field is a problem for them. But it's legitimately big.
Well, absolutely not. It is a really good thing. And Ryan, what's really good about that is we didn't wake up to any arrests like the Broncos have had in the past after these parties. So that is the good news. Have fun last night. Today is their day off. So that's when you have the party, is right before your day off. And no news is really good news surrounding that party. I'm just starting to see some costumes pop up on social media. Any notable ones?
No, I don't. I just must not be in tune enough to know what Bo Nix was trying to do. But I was getting like Top Gun.
I didn't see Bo.
He should be trying to be Top Gun. I saw Pat Bryant is Shrek.
Okay.
I like that.
It looks like City was just a lion.
Okay.
Court was
the animal, not the
he and
football.
he and his wife dressed up as a movie that I don't know. Oh, it's no, I do know that movie. It's
Coneheads.
No.
I can't see you from that far.
Oh, shoot. Dr. Seuss.
Yes.
What is this? It's the guy who loves the trees. The Lorax.
Yes,
okay,
exactly. So that's a fun thing to look at on social media. And we need some fun things today because This is not the type of PS Tuesday that we wanted to talk about. Pat Surtain, guys, officially going to miss some time yesterday. But guys, yesterday when the news broke later in the evening, there was a lot out there. A lot of news that freaked people out. Some tried to bring people back from freaking out. Let's just kind of break it down. So, Henry, when you saw the news, what did you first see? What did you think?
So remember when Dre Greenlaw, we got the news he was suspended, and my initial reaction was, meh, he never really plays anyway.
Yeah.
This is the exact opposite of that reaction. Like as far in the other direction as you can go. I mean, I think he might be your most important player. Like I think it depends on what you think of Jarrett Stidham. But if you think that like Jarrett Stidham is like a good backup quarterback, if you don't have Bo Nix, I think you could make the case that actually losing Pat Surtain for a game or a stretch of games is the worst possible news. Because like edge rush, like Nick Bonito, incredible player. Jonah Ellis, Q Robinson looks good. Like you could get by. This totally changes everything about the identity of your defense, which is terrifying to me.
Yeah, that was my reaction. That's what I texted you guys last night. Like, this takes away your ability to play the way you want to play. And it's a real test for Vance Joseph. Like, I think that Wade Phillips would probably tell you, like, it's not all that hard to call defense when you have Russian coverage. Like, just line up, play man coverage, and bring your pass rush after the quarterback. Now, Vance's, and I think he's up to the challenge, but Vance's schematics will be tested. He's going to have to figure out, like, okay, how can I put these guys in a better situation to succeed? Because you're not just going to be able to match up one-on-one straight across with a lot of teams that you're going to play during this stretch. So, yeah, my initial reaction was, oh, okay, well, now we don't get to play defense the way that we like to play defense.
Right.
So, we'll dive into how do you replace that? What is the new defense look like? Who steps up in his place right there? Is it a combination of guys? But when the news first broke, just to give you guys a time frame of what's going on here, because it's not very clear, Jordan Schultz reported initially that he's going to miss 4 to 6 weeks. I believe we saw Ian Rappaport come out and say that he's week to week. We had Adam Schefter say 4 to 6 weeks. And when these guys are throwing out 4 to 6 weeks, they're also throwing out that he is a candidate to go on IR. It's not saying he is on IR, but he's a candidate to go on IR. Ian Rappaport said week to week. I heard from multiple sources surrounding every part of this week to week as well. And unfortunately, the more news we got on Pat Surtain, the worse this got, which is you want to hear the exact opposite of that. I jumped on the postgame show and told you guys that initial tests were saying 2 weeks that he was going to miss. As they got more results back yesterday from the MRI, that number did go up. Jeremy Fowler also confirmed. He said he initially heard 2 weeks as well, and then it just got worse. So where we are right now, there's a lot going on week to week, or 6 weeks, up to 6 weeks. So now the Broncos have to decide: do you put him on injured reserve? Because injured reserve, and here's the bummer here: injured reserve is 4 games that you have to miss, not 4 weeks.
Why?
I don't know. Makes no sense to me. But it's 4 games. So that means if Pat Surtain goes on injured reserve, he's out 5 weeks because the Broncos have a bye. So he would be guaranteed to miss the Raiders game in 2 weeks, the Houston game this coming week, the Chiefs game in 3 weeks. The bye week doesn't count, which is silly. I agree with you. And then the Commanders game. So from initially what I'm hearing, I would be more surprised than not if they do put him on injured reserve, especially with he's your most important player, he's your best player on your team.
This decision is easy peasy. Would you rather have Pat Surtain for 1 game or the 53rd man on the roster for 4 or 5?
Yeah, Pat Surtain.
Very obviously Pat Surtain. Very obviously Pat Surtain.
What if the numbers turn out to be like, okay, you get a 10% chance of a game of Pat Surtain or 4 games of whoever else?
10% would be really low for that last game.
That's why I had to tempt you.
Yeah, but I'm talking about after the bye week.
Right.
So we're talking, and I think he could potentially come back before then. But for after the bye week, I would rather have Pat Surtain against the Commanders.
And Terry McLaurin.
Exactly. And Debo. Then I would have whoever, whatever tight end they put a waiver claim in on today.
Well, and also with that, Ryan, that guy is likely going to be inactive.
Right.
So, like, just have a roster spot?
Yeah. No. It's not worth it. And along those lines, like, you have to operate differently when you're in the position the Denver Broncos are now. This is no longer like we're looking to the future. We got to do what's best for the team long term. Like, no. You are in a division championship race. You are in a seeding race with 9 games to go in the NFL season. So if you can somehow, some way get Pat Surtain back for the Chiefs game, you have to do it because that game could end up deciding the division.
Yeah, it's going to be absolutely huge. And when the Broncos make this decision, there's 2 key things to look for in terms of big dates that the Broncos have to pass, and we'll know a lot more then. One is today. One is at 2 to 3:30 p.m. today. We'll know if the Broncos are going to place him on IR today. And the Broncos have to make a move, whether it's placing him on IR, whether it's placing Nate Adkins on IR, whether it's cutting Sam Ehlinger like they do and putting him on the practice squad, because Dre Greenlaw is officially done with his suspension. So as the Broncos lose Pat Surtain, they do get Dre Greenlaw back, but they need to make a move in order to get him. So if Pat Surtain is not placed on IR this afternoon, that's a good sign. The other good sign is if he's not placed on IR on Saturday, because then that means he's officially not going to be placed on IR for that Houston game. And man, if they don't place him on IR for that Houston game, then unless there's a major setback, I'm touching wood here, unless there's a major setback, he's not going on IR. If he goes on IR, it will be this week.
Can they not do retroactive in the NFL? Again, why?
Fortunately not. And that was the thing with Dre Greenlaw.
Why?
It's silly. It's very silly. The NFL has made strides in their silly roster construction moves, but clearly not all the way there.
Yeah, I mean, it should very obviously be 4 weeks.
Yes.
Regardless of how many games you play in those weeks.
You don't choose the bye.
Yeah, exactly. And you should be able to put a player on IR retroactively because you already lost them for that game. It's not like you got an advantage. You actually had a disadvantage by having a player who's going to go on IR.
Yep. 100%. I completely agree with you.
Yeah, it's just tough. I'm curious to see what they do. Again, like, is it the grade 1 or is it the grade 2? It seems like after the game they thought it was the grade 1, but now they're treating it more like the grade 2 from everything we've heard. Yep. It stinks.
Yeah, I'm caught between the second that you saw him walking off the field grabbing his pec, you fear the worst, which is a torn pec. So you're very thankful that it wasn't that. But then it's like it seemed like for a chance there it was going to be the grade 1 strain, which they say is like 2 to 4 weeks. The grade 2 strain is like 4 to 8 even weeks. It'll say if you look it up. So
looks like a grade 1.5.
Well, and a lot of people in the comments are saying, I just want him for the playoffs. And again, if you're looking at the bright side, which was when you saw him grabbing his pec, you're like, oh God, he's out for the season. Pretty much just deleted all of our Super Bowl contender talk. So you're back. You're back from that. But this 4-game stretch is so important.
Right.
You got division games.
You're playing the best defense in the NFL this week, which means you got to be able to keep CJ Stroud bottled in. You've got the Raiders next week. That's fine. And then the Chiefs obviously are still the Chiefs, even if, like, who scares you? I guess it's Rashee Rice is probably who he'd line up against. You want him out there because he's doing something. And then the Commanders, you need to win a lot of games if you're going to wind up with home playoff games.
So let's dive into exactly how it impacts the next couple of games and just when it's crucial for him to be back. One thing, though, really quick, that I'm seeing the Toyota chat, Ryan, you kind of touched on it. Of course, the most important thing is to have him back for the playoffs. But as you said, Ryan, I completely agree with you. Like, you can't just hold him out until he's 100%, no questions asked. And also, that's not how the NFL works.
No.
When Dre Greenlaw came off IR. They kind of built him up, and it was like, oh, maybe this is just a build-up week, and he'll miss this first game back. Maybe that actually would have benefited the Broncos because he wouldn't got suspended after that game. But they'll hold him out of that first game, give him a week to ramp up. No, because if you are healthy, if you are ready to go, the NFL's not going to say, and Sean Payton and the Broncos and really most NFL teams aren't going to say, let's just give you a little bit more time. No, they're going to say you're playing this week. And so that's what's going to happen with Pat, whether you like it or not. When the doctors clear him and when he gets on that field and says, I'm ready to go, he is going to play. So there is no like, let's be safe with it, really. That doesn't really exist.
It's binary. You're ready or you aren't.
Yeah. That's how health goes. Yeah.
It's actually not how health goes. In the NFL, it's how health goes, though. But, yeah. So, let's dive into how much does this impact Broncos? How do they replace him? How does it impact them in these next couple of games after? I give a shout-out to our friends over at Christie Sports. I need my skis tuned. So this weekend, I have planned to bring them in to Christie Sports to get me ready for this year's ski season. And if you want to get in on the ski season, whether you're buying, whether you're renting, Christie Sports has you covered with skis and snowboards, high quality gear, industry leading prices, 50 locations, over 50 locations where you love to ski and ride. So whether you want to get that taken care of in Denver or up in the hills, there's a Christie Sports that is convenient for you. And if you want to make sure that you get the right gear, Christie Sports has the experts to hook you up with that. If you're traveling in from out of town for a weekend, go to Christie Sports to get your gear. And of course, if you live here, make sure to do that as well, because they are going to give you 20% off your rentals when you book online and use the code DNVR20. You can click the link in our description and use that code DNVR20. Must book by November 23rd, and you must book online. Outside is better with expert service and advice in every store.
Also, shout out to Fire on the Mountain.
New partner alert.
And this is a good one.
Best wings in Denver.
Absolutely. By far the best wings in Denver.
So good.
Everybody's talking. I don't know when they started, but it feels like, I don't know. Was it like 2019 or 2020 or so when everybody was just like, oh, Fire on the Mountain, Fire on the Mountain, Fire on the Mountain. They really are the best. They've got 15 different flavors. They're good wings. They're hormone-free, antibiotic-free, cage-free wings. Gotta stretch those things. That's what makes them taste so good. Incredible craft beer list and killer cocktails. $5 beers on Mondays. Happy hour all day Tuesdays. They're handmade appetizers, dressings. Nearly everything is handmade. It's walkable. It's bikeable. Great locations. They have more than just wings too. If you're into a Wagyu beef blend burger, who isn't? Then they're your option for that as well. So much to like: the vegan options, the patio. It's an official green restaurant. Go grab the $5 pints on Mondays, the all-day happy hour on Tuesdays, and they also deliver from their Washington Park store. Try the best wings in Denver at DNVR Broncos tailgates, November 6th and 16th, or you can visit their spots in Highlands and Wash Park.
Really quick, their like spicy peanut sauce, I'd put it up against any sauce.
Really?
Wow.
Yes. I'm a buffalo wings guy. So when I go there, I get half my order, extra hot buffalo with a side of El Jefe, which is their hottest possible
Dude, come on,
sauce.
you're crazy.
Just a little, just gotta dip it in there a little bit, get the senses going.
You already have the hot one on it.
Yeah, and then I go one of the I want to say they call it Thai peanut, but it might just be spicy peanut. It's
really
one of the best. Like when you go to Fire on the Mountain, you kind of have to like expand your horizons a little bit because they have like 40 sauces, and so I just went through trying one at a time. Like I would have never done that before. Boom. Gotta have it.
Yeah, I've been out on peanuts ever since Dre told me that cashews are actually healthier because they taste better than the peanuts. And so I always assumed that the peanuts were the healthier ones. So I was like, okay, I'll eat the peanuts. But ever since I learned cashews healthier.
Definitely taste better than cashews.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I love peanuts.
I like them both.
But maybe it's because I've been out on peanuts for the past 15 years since my wife is allergic to peanuts. But she is out of town in a couple of weeks. And Fire on the Mountain's just down the block from me.
I wonder what he's doing while I'm out of town. You're just housing peanuts.
Also, but how spicy is it? How spicy is a spicy peanut?
Not that spicy.
Okay.
Really? But I'm really bad.
Yeah. I should ask Allie for a better reference for me.
I was at a restaurant the other day and I ordered the breakfast burrito, like smothered in green chili, as one does. And This woman next to me was like, "Is that spicy?" And I was like, "No."
Oh no.
And then I immediately regretted that I said that. And then I saw her eating it, and she was just like panting.
So do you apologize or you just leave the restaurant?
I just tried to avoid eye contact.
Yeah. Man, green chili, so good. It is all right, so you guys, Ryan, last night, as you mentioned, brought this up in our group chat. And Henry, you brought it up earlier in the show. It seems like this impacts the defense a lot beyond just having your best cornerback out there. Tell me about it.
Yeah, I mean, again, going back to the way that this team plays defense is pretty simple. We're going to man you up, and we're going to send pressure.
Only 2 teams play more man coverage.
Exactly. And you can do that, 1, because of PS2 being the best cover corner in the league, and 2, because Riley Moss is also really good, despite what some people may think.
Yeah.
And 3, because you rush the hell out of the passer. The pressure that now gets added to that third part, you rush the hell out of the passer, is crazy. Like, the way that it worked for this defense, or you go back to the 2015 defense, is this perfect balance between great coverage and great pressure. And when the pressure isn't there, the coverage holds up. When the coverage isn't there, the pressure gets to there. And now the pressure all shifts onto the pass rush. And it allows teams to be a little bit more creative about what they want to do. They can leave extra guys in to protect the passer because they're going to trust their ability to get open against whatever the Broncos do in the back end. So it's all a chess match, and the Broncos just lost their best chess piece. And so their job in the chess match just got a lot harder. Now, this is a fantastic defense across the board. It's not like the whole thing is just the PS2 show. It just happens to be that he's your centerpiece. And so, like, Nick Bonito and John Cooper and all of these guys can make up for the loss. But if the Broncos lost a game and that was a major reason why, it wouldn't and shouldn't surprise anybody.
Yeah, you're right. And being in the locker room every week, talking to guys, defensive guys, they make it pretty darn clear how easy Pat makes the entire defense work, because it's just like, okay, like literally either the best weapon that the other team has or a third of the field, you just don't have to worry about if you're Vance Joseph, if you're the other 10 guys on the field, and then you just get to worry about the other parts of the opposing team's offense and your defense. Now you don't get to do that. And now you're having likely a guy that's pretty inexperienced come in to take a spot.
Totally. I mean, the defense changed. Again, there are 2 teams that play more man coverage. There are 3 teams that blitz more. Because if you have Pat Surtain, you go man coverage, you play cover 1, which is what they love to do. You get to erase that guy. You have the safety over the top who gets to rotate over and pay more attention, help Riley out. You got a linebacker potentially lurking in the middle who is thinking like, okay, I'm the buffer here. You know, Riley's got outside leverage. He's trying to push him inside. So we kind of have this almost double team over here. You don't have that anymore. Like, it's not just like Riley now plays the number 1 corner. We can't be, I don't want to say helping Riley on every play, but it's kind of what happens. Yeah. Because the other option is either you help Riley and Jaquan, or you say we're sending an extra rusher because we can, say we send 5 because we only have the 1 safety deep, the safety helps. Maybe we just want to blitz because we trust them with those matchups, whatever it may be. Again, the entire identity changes, and you're going to be doing things you don't like. And in terms of who replaces them, I'm curious. And there's a case for Kris Abrams-Draine. There's a case for Jahdae Barron. The case for Kris Abrams-Draine is we've seen him play, and he looks really good. And because of that, you kind of want him out there. And he was the option on Sunday when Pat went down. But sometimes those in-game subs are a little bit different than when you have a week of prep. For example, there's the nickel package that has been Jahdae's package all year. The penny front package, that's been him. They take Jaquan out, that's Jahdae's package. Well, if you bump Jahdae to the boundary during the game, that means you need somebody else to step in and fill that role who hasn't been practiced for. So you're replacing 2 roles instead of just 1. So
which
it makes
is
sense.
Why they did the CAD thing
Exactly.
on Sunday, because it was the most 1-for-1.
Right.
Everyone else keeps their same job.
Exactly. And now the question is, with a week of prep, do you say, well, obviously Jaquan can handle that nickel job. He handles it all the time. We could just have Jahdae on the boundary the entire game. We've hardly seen it. Did we see it for the first time at the end of the game when they were kind of rotating some backups in? That might have been the first time we actually saw him play that role.
That I can remember, yes.
Right. And so do you go to the guy who's talented, first round pick, just has first interception? Do you go Kris Abrams-Draine, who in every opportunity has lived up to everything you could have hoped for?
Yeah, I think it's going to be Cad. And Kris gets that because, like you said, Henry, I mean, it's not like he was an undrafted guy. And there's nothing wrong with being undrafted, but typically undrafted guys don't get the opportunities. The drafted guys, he was a third-round pick for the Broncos. So, like, they had high hopes for him, just like Riley Moss. And Riley Moss has stepped up and lived up to that. And I do believe that it's going to be Kris. And a big reason, two reasons. He's played great when he has played. Yeah. He just had very limited opportunities. And the other reason is, Henry, what you pointed to, Jahdae. Not only have we rarely seen him on the outside in games, like once or twice, we haven't seen him there in practice. And the Broncos have not tried him there at practice because they want him to focus on the inside cornerback this year. I do believe that's going to change in the years to come, but we're not there yet. We're his 8th game in the NFL, and he has practiced. He has played at inside. So I don't think they're going to make a drastic change like that, especially when you have a good option right there.
Yeah, it's it again goes back to where you stand, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. You're 6-2. If you were 2-6, I'd be saying play Jahdae outside because I want to know what he can do out there. But I would say the word I would use is safe. The safe play is to go with Kris Abrams-Draine, and that's not a slight to him. It just is like you have a pretty good feeling of what you're doing or what he's going to be, and you don't have to ask anyone else to change what they're doing. It reminds me of like when you fire a coach mid-season. A lot of times it's not the coordinator who gets elevated. It's like some random coach down the line a little bit because they're like, oh, well, everyone else gets to keep their same responsibilities and this guy just gets more. And I think that's probably what they're going to do. And again, Kris Abrams-Draine was good on Sunday.
Yep.
When he played. So there's a world in which we come out of this being like the Broncos have 3 really good outside corners on their football team.
Oh, absolutely. Again, last year, Kris, I don't know how many starts it was. 2 starts. He looked really good. The game against the Chargers in particular. He was an interesting prospect because, comes from Missouri where he was super productive. Like the chat pointed out, he's a converted receiver. The ball skills were pretty crazy. Had a bunch of interceptions, a bunch of PBUs, finished first team all SEC because he was just so productive taking the ball away from the other team. But he's small. I think he's still listed under 180 pounds. And because of that, when draft time comes and you don't have like an incredible 40, it means that you're a different type of prospect. It's similar to Palcho, who fell out of the draft. He's an All-American, but just not the biggest, not the strong, doesn't look the part, and doesn't test super well. And sometimes those guys go on to be really good players. So I'm really, really, really excited to see what he does with what's likely a few weeks in this role. And obviously, the big story is you don't have Pat, and that's really bad news. But the silver lining is we get to see what Kris can do, and I think he can do something special.
Well, and Mile High Sing in the comments with a funny comment here because he says Cad plays like CHJ. Talking with Aqib on No Lie Zone. Actually, it's Aqib on No Lie Zone.
Good to know. Is
yesterday.
that new or has it always been that?
We confirmed it on the show yesterday.
Okay.
That actually came out this morning. So check it out, No Lie Zone on YouTube.
Wait, so instead of Aqib, it's Aqib.
Aqib.
Okay.
And it's going to take me a while to get that right. He's like, you don't have to. Everyone else gets it wrong, but I want to get it right.
Yeah, he should get his name
anyways, he said that when they were at the Broncos game together, him and CHJ, Kris was pointing out, he's like, check out 31. You gotta check out 31. Like, he's actually nice. And so interesting timing that a week later the Broncos have to count on him, but Kris was high on Kris Abrams-Draine.
I love that. I love that, man. If you play anything like Kris, you're gonna be just fine. That's for darn sure.
Facts.
The Toyota chat is pointing out something about this week's game that concerns them, and it also concerns me. Let's kind of dive in matchup to matchup how much this impacts the Broncos defense after I give a shout out to our friends over at Bet365, where guys over at Bet365, since this Pat Surtain injury has gained steam, so have the Houston Texans. I've seen the line shift like a point and a half. favoring the Texans after this. And yeah, when you're without the defensive player of the year, it is going to favor the other team. But that means if you think the Broncos are still going to win this game, you can get better odds over at Bet365, where right now you can get the Broncos at plus 100. I've seen that number go up, so it might continue to go up as we get closer to the game and the country realizes that Pat isn't playing. So you can get plus money on the Broncos. Texans, good team, not overlooking them, but a losing record going up against the hottest team in the NFL, the 6-2 Broncos, who are on a 5-game win streak. You can get that over at Bet365, and you can get that with bonus bets. If you deposit $10, place a $5 bet, win or lose on that bet, you are going to get bonus bets up to $200 for new customers using that code DNVR365 when you sign up. Bonus bets can be used on spreads, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 20 and older, physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply.
Also, shout out to our friends over at Common Spirit. If you are someone who is active, you're a athlete, whether that be professional or amateur, you got to check out our friends over at Common Spirit. And the Mountain Region is home to an incredible sports medicine program, including the new Sports Center at Common Spirit Health in Parker. They have a team of qualified and passionate providers that specialize in the diagnosis, treatment, and prevention of sports-related injuries for all athletes, including the Denver Broncos. Their experts understand the unique demands of your body, and they will give you personalized treatment plans combining things like physical therapy, injury prevention strategies, and strength training. So again, it's not always about fixing what's broken. It's about preventative care, performance enhancement, and getting you back to peak condition safely and quickly. So don't let an injury keep you on the bench or stop the injury from ever happening in the first place. Visit mountain.commonspirit.org. Common Spirit Health, official healthcare partner of the 6-2 first place Denver Broncos Football Club.
I love it. And shout out to our presenting sponsor, Bet365. All right, guys. Unfortunately, I'm not too scared. Actually, I'm not too scared of the Houston Texans offense because their protection is bad. CJ Stroud has certainly taken a step back. He's still a good quarterback in my mind, but he didn't ascend like people thought after his rookie season. He can do damage, but the guy that I would be most concerned about on this team, with or without Pat Surtain, is Nico Collins. Nico Collins missed this past week due to a concussion, but all signs seem to indicate that he will be playing this week. He almost played last week, didn't, so it really seems like he's going to play this week. And guys, Nico Collins is a tough matchup for even Pat Surtain because he is a big receiver, almost as big of a receiver as you get in today's NFL. And that's what Pat's great at, is going up against big receivers and shutting him down because he has a unique size and speed and strength combination to be able to go up against those guys. Now you don't have that big cornerback. So while Nico Collins might not be a top 5 receiver, he's one of the tougher matchups for any team. And without Pat, he's the guy that I'm most worried about. He's the guy with Pat. He's the guy I'm most worried about. Without Pat, that just goes up higher even more.
Yeah, it's definitely tough. I think Riley's held up better against big receivers than I've expected him to this year. And
I like to hear that.
It's tough to totally put a stamp on that because there's also some of those penalties that seem to be because they're a little bit bigger than him. But I guess we didn't see too much of him on Pickens. I don't think Nico Collins is as good as the receivers that Riley's had to play against so far.
He's not.
And that's the kind of thing that
he's really good though.
I know, and that's why I'm a little bit scared saying it, that I'm going to be hearing that back at me next week because I said it. But when you look through Nico Collins, Devontae Smith, T. Higgins, I think that Riley can match up against him, especially considering all the other issues that they have in the offense. So yeah, this would be a textbook. Like, we won't have to talk about what the game plan is for the defense if they have Pat, because it's so obvious. You put Pat on Nico and everything else just works itself out. But you know, it is what it is. And I'm almost curious. We probably just don't see corners follow matchups as much, in part because, you know, it's just a lot of teams don't do that because they don't have a Pat Surtain, but also you're not going to see as much man coverage. There won't be the Panthers who just refuse to run any man coverage at all, but I think we'll see some just like conceptual changes to this defense with Pat gone, and that might mean less following their number one.
Yeah, I don't think it's Riley against Nico,
Right.
because I don't think, like, if it was Pat, he'd be following. I think it's going to be Nico against everyone on the Broncos defense, and I think that's even more reason why the Broncos probably will leave 2 safeties back a lot more in this game, especially in the first game without Pat. Just give those guys more protection, not just Riley, but Kris as well, and in the slot too.
Yeah, it's interesting because part of you thinks like, okay, we have to protect ourselves from getting beat over the top. So we're going to sink back a little bit and open up the underneath stuff. The other part of you says we dare them to try to put the ball down the field because we think our pass rush is going to be able to get there before they're able to do that. And that's where, these defensive meetings this week would be fascinating to be in with Vance Joseph and that staff and on Sean Payton, of course, as well, to just figure out what they want to do. Do they want to just keep everything in front of them? I think that's probably what the final decision ends up being because they believe in their ability to bend and not break, which they showed a great ability to do last week against a better offense. But there is a little part of me that's like, dare them to try to go over the top and just let Nick and Coop and all of those guys tee off.
Right, especially early in the game. And just say like, okay, we're going to come out here and dare you to do this. And just see if you can punch him in the mouth right off the bat. And if that works, then you just kind of ride it. And hopefully you have that 10-3 lead, 14-3 lead where you then get to sit back a bit. But I don't mind the idea of saying, sure, we don't have Pat, but we're going to be aggressive. We're going to punch you in the mouth. We're going to make a tough throw. And if they do it, then you probably back off pretty quickly with your tail tucked between your legs.
I think you can do both with this team. I think you can leave the 2 back. This pass rush is going to eat this week, and we'll dive more into it as we get closer to the game. The Texans' pass protection is terrible. And I haven't watched every single game of the Texans yet, but the games that have been available on primetime that I've been able to watch, it has been... If I'm a Texans fan, I am so concerned not just about my protection of CJ Stroud, but about how this is impacting CJ Stroud, because I'm getting a little David Carr flashbacks of just like CJ Stroud is starting to see ghosts right now. He's only been sacked 15 times, which isn't like not that much, but he is playing like he has been sacked 30 times at this point in the season already. He's fading back, and I just think that this pass rush is going to eat him alive. Without him trying to go deep, just immediately, I think there's going to be pressure on him. So I think that's something that's really going to help the absence of Pat. Is this pass rush this week is going to be great. The Broncos only have only 6 sacks in the past 2 weeks, which is still pretty good, 3 a game. This is a game where they get back on their historic stretch by getting CJ 8 times.
Yeah, and it's Nick Benito's side where he's going up against the rookie. Like that's the big news here. Where it's like Cooper against Titus Howard, sure, like it. Benito against Ariante Ursary, 2nd round rookie. I mean, that's that. This should be the end of the dry spell for Benito, and it really should be multiple sacks for him.
Yep, I agree. And then also Zach Allen. You have Dre Greenlaw back now too. Him and/or Singleton coming up the middle. I think Vance is more excited about this than nervous about not having Pat. He's more excited about what the pass rush can do than nervous about not having Pat. Now maybe, just as Henry said, I'll look silly for saying that in a week from now. But this is going to be the complete opposite game than what we saw this past week with the Cowboys coming to town. I think it's going to be a very low scoring game, but we'll dive into that. The next week, guys, Broncos in just 9 days will have played 2 games because they play the Raiders on a short week. The Raiders just signed Tyler Lockett. Broncos going to see him for a 2nd time this year. They've got Jacoby Myers, but they have Geno Smith. I mean, you want your best players in every game, but man, this is a game that you really should not need Pat. Am I overlooking them at all?
They have Jacoby Myers now. Who knows after the trade deadline? Like he's one of those guys that could be gone. It sounds like they're not going to move on from Max Crosby, but sure are a lot of rumors going around.
Crosby.
I mean,
he's like the identity of the franchise.
They need an identity change. They're like the worst for like they got shut out. Like they're terrible. I think
you saying put Max Crosby at tight end on the other side to try to score points?
You're gonna lose either way. Why not? Like they probably trade for Dondre. Where I shouldn't say better than their tight ends. That is the one thing they have is 2 awesome tight ends. But you should win this game. Like you should win this game pretty easily.
Yeah.
I end them. Like win this game by 30.
Sure. If this was on the road, it would worry me a little bit. Just Thursday night on the road.
Okay.
But at home, you should handle business and put on a show for your fans on Thursday Night Football.
I agree. The Broncos did have Pat on Brock Bowers last year, and that's when Pat got the pick six, which totally ended the Raiders season and completely flipped the Broncos season. So I guess that's what concerns me more than any of their receivers.
For next week.
And we've seen Jahdae on tight ends now.
Yes.
That I don't know
Turned out
what
to be a
Dak was
pick.
thinking that Ferguson guy was going to be able to outrun Jahdae up the seam, but there's an interception for you.
I saw a clip from Cowboys Twitter today where they were just completely dumbfounded how Jake Ferguson ended up with zero catches.
It's incredible. Maybe that was a game the Broncos defense needed to flip the narrative completely, that they can't cover tight ends. The guy who had the fourth most receptions, not just for tight ends, but for any player in the NFL coming in this game, 0 catches, 1 target.
And I loved Alex
And the
Singleton
target was
after
a
the
pick,
game.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Barron,
you're right.
yeah.
You're right.
And I loved Alex Singleton after the game when they're like, "Oh, good job. Tight end didn't have a single catch." And he's like, "It's not the linebacker's job." Been trying to say it for years is what he meant to be saying is we don't cover the tight end. But it's like, yeah, that was funny.
But if you, I just don't think the Broncos are going to need Pat going up against this Raiders team.
No.
But the next week is the Chiefs. And this is why what I was initially hearing about 2 weeks was a big relief, because it's like, okay, you're going to get Pat back for the Chiefs game. Now that certainly is in question, because unfortunately, guys, it seems like the Chiefs are back. Ryan, you said it yesterday. The Chiefs are Super Bowl contenders.
They're
think,
like heavy favorites right now.
yeah, and I think everyone would agree with you on that. And Rashee Rice apparently is also the truth, at least in that Chiefs offense. His first 2 games back, he's looked really good for them. And that is where I'd really want Pat, because I'm taking Pat 100 times over 100 going up against Rashee. Without Pat, it opens up the Chiefs offense more, because you don't just completely eliminate their number 1 receiver.
Totally. Really quick, the Chiefs on Bet365 right now, plus 450 to win the Super Bowl. Next closest is the Lions at plus 650.
Broncos still plus 1,900.
The Broncos yesterday, before the Pat news came out, were at plus 1,800, and they are now at plus 2,000.
Yep.
Wow. What are the Ravens?
The Ravens are tied with the Broncos.
That just
Makes sense.
Vegas has not moved off. I mean, they moved off them a little bit, but what are they, 2-5, 2-6?
Yeah, I mean, according to these numbers, they're kind of putting the Broncos just outside of the true contenders box. It goes Chiefs plus 450, Lions plus 650, Packers plus 700, Bills plus 800, Colts, Eagles, and Rams all plus 1,000, and then a massive gap down to the Broncos at plus 2,000.
Colts surprised me. That's the one I would bump down. But mostly because if you believe in the Colts, how could you not believe in the Broncos?
Yeah, but you have to shift those odds, because as more and more people start believing in them, more and more people are placing bets on them.
And the division. There's a good chance that the Colts are going to have at least one home game, and they might have a bunch of them, whereas the Broncos, again, more than capable, but a lot tougher task to win this division than it is the AFC South at this point.
Yeah, man.
To me, that's the difference.
The Colts are good. I think they've proved it. And can I fade the Packers and the Ravens? No, can't do that. Okay.
Wow.
Well.
No one accepts bets to not win the Super Bowl.
Why not Packer believer?
Well, you could go bet they're under on wins.
That's true. Yeah, maybe I need, or just once they get into the playoffs, I'll fade them. I won't be fading the Ravens if they get into the playoffs. But come on, they're 2-5, 2-6 right now. Like, they pretty much got to be perfect to even make the dance right now.
Yeah.
And it does look like they're getting Lamar back. Over at Bet365, they play the Dolphins on Thursday Night Football, and the Ravens are 8.5-point favorites.
Yep.
That might be the weirdest game to know what to do going in, because all of a sudden Tua looked really good this past week. I don't think he's actually good, but he looked good this past week, and Lamar hasn't played. I don't know. That's weird. Henry, how worried about you? How worried are you without Pat against the Chiefs?
I'm very worried about me. Step one. Second question.
You okay? Do we need to talk?
We don't need to, we aren't allowed to talk publicly about why things aren't great. But we don't need to go down that road again. But yeah, I think the Chiefs are really good. You need to have your best player against them. That's like the telling game. People think I'm some fortune teller who sees the future. I'm not. I have no idea what happens in that game. I have a lot of different thoughts. Like playoff football. It's all about like the defense plays man coverage. You got to beat that man coverage. You got to have a running back who can keep you on schedule. Just need 4 yards. You don't need anything explosive. And sometimes it feels like every game the Chiefs play is kind of that playoff style game. And without Pat, that just makes it so much harder. And I don't know how exactly it manifests itself, whether it's like Rashee Rice just simply has a good day because you don't have him. But we're going to learn a lot about the Broncos on that day. And the task just got a lot harder.
Yeah, defending the Chiefs is such a fucking crapshoot.
It's totally different than defending anybody else.
Exactly. Like, there's no, like, oh, if you just do this, it's going to work. Like, every play exists in a vacuum because of the crazy antics that Patrick Mahomes can pull off. So it's so hard to look at it like a normal game where you're just like, oh, you put Pat here and you do that. Like,
yes.
It's going to come down to, like, are you able to run around in circles defending these guys as Pat Mahomes does crazy stuff in the backfield? And
not having Pat Surtain means you have to change, like, your entire, like, philosophy as a defense. You have to do that whenever you play the Chiefs anyway. Like, you're not just running your standard defense when you play them. Nobody is. Or no, otherwise you wind up losing by 20. So it almost, that effect is almost just not there.
It's like, did you get a tipped ball at the line on third down? Like, it's just it's really, there's no blueprint.
I mean, even last night against Marcus Mariota in Kansas City, the first half, I'm like, oh my gosh, the Chiefs are coming back down to earth right now. This is great. Even if they win, it's going to be an ugly win. And then after the Chiefs get a touchdown and they kick it off, because it's raining there, the Washington returner like flips the ball and then he gets it back at the 2-yard line, and then it's like, okay, well, that's game right there. To just talk about the fluky things that happen when you play against the Chiefs.
Just every possession matters. And that doesn't mean like you need to score every possession.
You have to be successful in
It's like you got to like pin them back, and it's like, oh, this time they're starting inside their own 10. Like we're gonna get. It's just very weird games that they play, and having Pat certainly helps.
Yeah, exactly.
In the past 2 games that Rashee Rice has been on the field for them after his suspension, 16 catches, 135 yards, and 3 touchdowns there. So that's a big test. Broncos have a bye week the next week. Then the Commanders, we kind of touched on it. I want to get through just that 6-week window in case it is worst case scenario, which we really hope it's not. And I want to do that after I give a shout out to our friends over at Monarch, where Monarch is built for people with busy lives, just like all of us, just like you out there. And the awesome thing about Monarch, it's essentially your personal finance app, just right on your phone, helps you out, and really puts all of your money in one place so it's easy to understand. So if you have investments, if you have a savings account, if you have a checking account, if you have credit cards, if you have debit cards, put it all in one place for you to see. And not only for you to see, but this is a thing that really helps couples understand where their money is. So one of the biggest reasons why couples fight, I believe the biggest reason, is over finances. Monarch's going to help you with that. And they are proven to be the best because they were named CNBC's top fintech company in the world, Forbes best app for couples, and named the best budgeting app of 2025 by the Wall Street Journal. We're all on Monarch Money. We give our stamp of approval to it. And if you want to try it, they're going to give you 50% off your first year over at monarchmoney.com. Use that code DNVR over at monarchmoney.com. Don't let the finance opportunity slip through the cracks. Use that code DNVR over at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year.
And shout out to Taco Bell. I love Taco Bell.
Taco Tuesday, man.
Taco Tuesday. It's there's just nothing better. There isn't really a situation where I don't want Taco Bell. Here's the thing. I've actually never tried the breakfast.
I haven't either.
No, but it's something that I should probably do. Pilgrimage.
Soon?
What? Taco Bell strikes me as the place that accepts that people don't only want breakfast till like 9:30 or whatever. So you could probably get closer to noon. Because that's the thing about going and getting breakfast is you have to be like so motivated so early to go and get it. But no, we need to try that. The thing is, it's the rest of the food is just so good.
I know.
Yeah.
Like it's just, I mean, this is a compliment. It's all just different kinds of like beans and beef. And like, oh, this is a hard tortilla.
Sauces.
This is a soft tortilla. Like this cheese, the different kinds of cheese. Like
they have the best sour cream.
But somehow it's all just so unique too. It's like it feels like you're eating the same thing here and here, but they're so you're just living in a totally different fantasy world. I love Taco Bell. Everybody loves Taco Bell. If you don't, there's something wrong. I'm struggling to finish. I'm so hungry. They've got the flaming hot Frito grilled cheese burrito. I remember the first time they had the Fritos and the burrito. Unbelievable.
Yep.
But if you've got a group, you can go get some Buffs boxes, 4 Taco Bell Classics, player collectible cup, only $7, satisfies your Taco Bell craving. They're proud partner of CU, which if you like CU, that's great, but you don't need that. You just go get the food. It's so good. Live Moss at Taco Bell.
It is. Shout out to presenting sponsor Bet365. Hit us with a thumbs up if you're tuning in. We appreciate it. Right after this show on our YouTube page, we have Broncos X's and O's with Benny and Dave Logan. They've got guest Justin Simmons on. Ryan, right before the show, dropped the No Lie Zone with Aqib Talib. We have so much Broncos content going on here. Of course, we're 5 days a week. These extra shows are awesome to break down. And man, I could listen to Aqib talk about anything. And in the New Lie Zone, you get a little bit of that. You obviously get a lot of football, Broncos, Buffs, and you get some life advice.
Yeah, we had some great dog stories on this one. You're going to love it.
Dog stories?
Yes, well, because one of the life advice was someone said, my neighbor's dog keeps shitting in my yard. What do I do?
Shit on
and
the
it
dog.
just spiraled into Aqib and I going back and forth with stories about our dogs doing stuff they shouldn't do. Boy, that's a good one.
Well, I'm looking forward to getting there. So that's available right now. Don't leave us yet, though. Right after the show, tune in to No Lie Zone, then go to Broncos X's and O's where Justin Simmons is on, or just reverse that. Enjoy your Tuesday. All right, guys. Obviously, I mean, I said Terry McLaurin for the Commanders. You guys both said don't forget about Deebo Samuel. That's a big game to have your number one cornerback.
Mm-hmm.
They're all big. But this one, yeah, Terry McLaurin can expose you. Do we assume that Jaden Daniels will be back by that point?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think assuming.
Okay. If not, it probably doesn't matter that
I hope
much.
they take their time with him. Yeah. Because if not, you're right. It probably doesn't matter. Then you get the Raiders on the road. Already talked about the Raiders in that final 6th game. If for some reason he has to miss that much, is the Packers. And I'm not a believer, but I mean, Packers are good. They're just not Super Bowl good, in my opinion.
I was a believer, and then I was like, they're all right. And then I was like, what do you have to? You just need a pass rush against Jared Goff, and you have a chance to go to Super Bowl. That makes me a believer. I think they've got a chance. But yeah, I've said all year, I think that's probably the toughest game on the schedule. Even though it's at home, like that, the way that team plays, it's just going to be so grimy. They love playing December football. It's what they're built for with Josh Jacobs. They kind of just have to survive the part of the year where like, okay, we need receivers in September when everybody's just like running around and it's nice, pretty football. But yeah, also obviously Commanders terrifying. You need to have him for that. You need to have him this week. Like you need him in just about every single game you play other than the Raiders. It's
So
the best
guys,
player.
let me ask you, because we went through all of these games. Now let's take a big step back. From what I've heard, and I'm also just going to be being a little optimistic here. Let's say he misses the next 3 games, but they don't place him on IR and he's back for the Commanders game. So these next 3 games, does his absence cost the Broncos a win?
It could.
In these?
I'm not going to say yes right now, but like I said earlier, if it did, it wouldn't shock me.
Right.
If you take the best player off of any team and then they lost a game because of it, no, you shouldn't be surprised.
Right. If you lose a close game without your best player, it's just you're going to be thinking, was this the reason? How would things have played out without him or with him?
Yeah, man, if Pat Surtain plays against the Chiefs, I would pick a Broncos win. If Pat Surtain doesn't play, they're going up against a team that's just always in the Super Bowl conversation, and you're without your best player. I'm going to say that's the difference. He's the difference in that game. Now just don't drop one of these next 2. And this one coming up is not a gimme. It is a game you can't overlook. The Broncos aren't overlooking him. We're not overlooking him or overlooking the Texans. You win this game, you're going to be in great shape going into the bye regardless. You want that Chiefs game. You do have a lead on the Chiefs right now, though, and you will play them again with a very likely, touching wood here, healthy Pat Surtain in Week 17. It would just... It'd be a bummer to go 1-2 over these next 2 games, and that 6-2 starts now 7-4. You're still good. You're still very much in the playoff position, but man, 8-3 would be so much better. And I think it all just comes down to this game right here.
Yeah,
To me, it's a 1 week at a time thing.
Right.
You just got to find a way to
Coach
win this
RK.
one. Then you just got to find a way to win the next one. And then I'm going to pick you to beat the Chiefs. So, yeah, I mean, you're right. If you offered 2-1 right now over the next 3, people would probably take it. And it does very much rest on the shoulders of taking care of business this week. And it's just going to be, I just know this one's just going to be a dogfight. It's just going to be a rock fight, nasty, mucked up.
Yeah.
Just, can you find a way to make a big play at some point that turns the game? And it makes me nervous and also makes me excited. I love football.
Speaking of the dogfight, last week against the Cowboys, I think the over-under over at Bet365 finished at 51.5.
Okay.
Right around there. This week, 39.5, at least as of yesterday morning, the last time I checked. A 12-point swing for the same team is wild. That just shows you how much of a different game Vegas is expecting.
Yeah. And Houston and the Cowboys, basically opposites.
Yeah.
Even though they're both in the same state.
Yeah, that
Makes
is
you
weird,
think.
huh?
Yeah. Texans are terrifying. I don't want to say terrifying. Last week, Cowboys were terrifying. I won't say terrifying for the Texans because
I'd like you to be terrified again. It worked out really well.
Yeah. This time it's you. You were the... you're scared with the Pat Surtain thing gone. That was my thought with the text last night. But that's not the point. The point is the Texans defense is obviously really good. I think the Broncos offense looks nice right now. Like I think the way they run the ball, this might be a week where you really do feed J.K. Dobbins and say like, hey, we don't need 25 carries from you every week because that's just not sustainable. But there are times when you pick and choose your spots and say we need you in this game. And I think they're going to be able to run the ball, and I think that's going to open some things up.
Good. I love it. Let's get JK his third 100-yard game of the season.
Yeah, I think the thing that could be true that we aren't talking about nearly enough is like, what if the offense has just cleared a hurdle that allows them to carry the team over the next 3 weeks?
Mm-hmm.
That would, a Sean Payton offense that has clicked after a couple of weeks, that wouldn't surprise me one bit.
Yeah, that would be massive.
Oh,
Again, 24-point rule prevailed again last week.
it certainly did. Yep.
Did.
And that rule just applies to these next 3 games as well, and even the Chiefs game.
I agree with that. Fully agree with that. All right, let's get to some super chats. Got a lot of people tuning in and chiming in with us. A huge one coming in from John. Mr. Lair, thank you. Says, more on the magical winning socks. Zach, yes, they are washed before each game. Ryan and Benny, no, I'm not some unhinged nut that likes wearing socks to bed. It was a drunk idea, but I can't stop now, right? Henry, the socks are safe. Love you guys. It's weird if it's not weird if it works, right?
100%. I support.
I think if we keep asking questions and things, he'll keep giving us a lot of money.
Oh.
So if you have anything else, yeah.
What? Do we know what's on the socks?
Yeah, it's a more accurate description.
Tell us more about the socks. Yeah.
Mile High Singh chimes in and says, hey, fellas, TJ Hawkinson should be a Bronco. Blocking tight end that can catch would be a great addition. Allow Evan Ingram to go in the slot and create mismatches. I love where your head's at, Mile High, because we are going to talk about all the trade rumors and what the Broncos should do, what they will do, what we think they'll do tomorrow. And TJ Hawkinson is a hell of a name to throw out there right now because that'd be a massive addition, in my opinion.
I watched every target of his from this season yesterday, a lot of blocking stuff too. I've got so many trade deadline takes right now.
I love it.
Every target from Waddle, from Olave, from Garrett Wilson, the last 2 years from Brian Thomas Jr., the running backs, Kamara's washed. I've got a lot of thoughts. Oh, those Browns linemen, the guards. One of them's good. One of them is not good. Got a lot to talk about tomorrow.
I can't wait. It's going to be an awesome show. We got Rusty Cleveland, speaking of the Browns, chiming in and says, hope this last game got our defense in turnover mode and we can get more turnovers. I mean, that's what Super Bowl 50 defense did.
I think it was actually Justin Sternat who got the Broncos into turnover mode.
Huh?
He got the lid off the rim.
He did.
Very true. Have you guys seen the picture of Jahdae picking the ball off? He picks it off and literally lands on his head.
Ow.
Yeah. And maybe that was the other pick. No, that was Andre. No, it was definitely Jahdae. TB007 says, McGlinchey took a lot of crap the first couple years he's been playing, like a top 10 tackle recently, not to mention his leadership. Put some respect on his name. Go Broncos.
The way that yes, McGlinchey deserves all the respect. He's been awesome. The way that the entire Broncos offensive line played on Sunday was unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, from the nastiness in the run game to like the Bo touchdown, the last touchdown, I believe it was, to Troy Franklin, is a joke. Like, I don't know if I've ever seen a quarterback look more comfortable in the pocket than he looked on that play.
Yeah.
It's really fun to be on the right side of that. I went back and watched every Palcho snap so far these past 2 weeks, and he looks pretty good. Again, he's not going to be like a bully who's out there like pushing guys, but just he knows the angles and he gets up to the second level so fast. All those long runs, he's up there taking out. Sometimes he's taking out like a safety. It's crazy.
One more really impressive thing about that I want to tell you. In overtime, go to thednvr.com where we'll finish the conversation online at thednvr.com. He hasn't played on the left side of the offensive line in his words since the Obama administration. It's been a long time that he's been on the left side, and he just went to the left side two weeks ago for the very first time in what, 8-ish years, 9 years, 7 years, something around there.
Football's football.
So the last time he was on the left was with Obama.
Wow. Yeah, exactly.
There might be something
and
there.
it just says like, where can he go from now if he just keeps playing and gets more comfortable there? So I'm excited about Palcho, but it doesn't mean that we're not going to talk about potentially trading for offensive
only one
linemen
guy
tomorrow.
I would trade for.
One guy. I can't wait to hear who that is. And we're being rounded out by our friend Alan, who says, any updates on Nate Adkins and Marvin Mims, Henry?
Well, Marvin Mims has a concussion, so the update there is that we don't really know anything.
The earliest he would probably be cleared to be Friday.
Yes.
Exactly.
So that's the next time we're going to get news.
Right.
Yep.
He probably doesn't know either. Then you've got the Nate Adkins knee thing. It sounds like there's been some reporting about that I haven't seen the details of what we're expecting there. The fact that
Kris said it appears to be serious, something along those lines.
Yeah, it doesn't
Right.
look good. And the Broncos made 2 waiver claims on tight ends
Right.
yesterday. Didn't get either of them, but they're blocking tight ends. That's what Nate Adkins is. The Broncos obviously like Ingram and Troutman in those spots. So you're likely looking for a third guy, which is Nate Adkins. So I wouldn't be surprised if he goes on IR today to free up that spot for Dre Greenlaw, unfortunately. Elijah Cook actually just dropped a super chat in and says, member of the supporters club. Shout out to you, Elijah. Says, I checked the film and looks like Bo's interception was not a miscommunication. Bo was trying to throw a no-look pass.
It does look that way. It does. It really does look that way from the end zone view, which is just insane. Like, I feel like you do that when you're in like a complete rhythm. You've just been dicing them the whole game. It's like his second throw of the game. He's just like, watch this no-look pass and just completely whiffs on it.
He's like, look, I'm 1 for 1 right now. I'm feeling it.
Yeah, and the weird part about the no-look thing, and the only reason why I'm like, I think maybe his shoulders were just not square, because there's no reason to be no-looking that way. Like the way he was looking, if he was no-looking, was out to the flat. But the only person that he had to worry about was the safety. Like the corner was, in man coverage, and there's just a safety. So I don't know why he would have been no-looking that. That's the only part where I'm just like, because it really does look like he no-looked it. It just makes no sense to no-look that specific throw.
The no-look, this is not any breaking news. The no-look only works when it works. Like it sure does look dumb when it doesn't work. Even Nikola Jokic. He'll throw a no-look pass that doesn't work. Now, most of them do work, but the occasional one that doesn't.
Behind the back last night.
That one was sick. But if that one hadn't worked, you'd be like, what the hell are you doing?
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
The crazy part about that one is they were on a cold streak during that.
Right.
And when he went to throw that pass, I'm like, what are you doing? Behind the back pass, into traffic, tight window, just nails it.
Right. And I struggle to even give Nikola Jokic the benefit of the doubt when a no-look pass doesn't work. When you're Bo, you just hit the pass. I don't care how, hit the pass.
We talk to Bo tomorrow. Is that a question you ask? I feel
he's
like
not
the way
owning up to that.
I feel like he would not snap at a reporter, but make a reporter look silly for asking that.
Yeah, I wouldn't ask it.
I'm probably not gonna ask it either.
I would maybe ask one of his teammates in the locker room off the record.
Yeah. That's a very good call. That's a good call. That's going to do it for us today. As we said, we got a huge show tomorrow where we're going to break down all the trade insight that's going on. We will do that tomorrow at noon. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a terrific Tuesday. Enjoy some Taco Bell on this Tuesday, and we'll see you tomorrow.
God bless Bo Nix.
We all silly like the mayor.